Holy crap. Where am I? Am I in Egypt now? I mean, it makes sense, it's the pyramids and such. No, Theodore, you're not in Egypt. You are back with us with another session of Legend of Zelda, aka Zelda-thon with Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Shakur Diesel, and as always, I'm here with my good friend.
What?
What? What? Wait, what? That was my thought process as well, too. What is going on?
I guess I'm back. So, hey, folks, this is Bonnie here. It's
Yeah.
been a long while.
It has. It's been a very, very long while. Since we've opened up this gaming channel, period, and such and everything. But fret not, everybody. We are now back, and we're back. And pretty much to celebrate us coming back and everything, we decided to let's go ahead and continue on with the Legend of Zelda Marathon, aka with Link to the Past. So pretty much last time that we left off, before we go ahead and get in the nitty-gritty of things and everything, last time that we left off and everything, basically what happened was that, I'll even pull up the map right here. Basically, we have gotten 4 out of the 7 crystals and everything. We've saved about 5 out of the 6 of the 7 wise men's daughters and such, freeing them from the crystals and everything. With the last one coming from the 4th palace, aka the hidden palace, with Blind the Thief and everything. So pretty much up until this point and everything, we only got 3 more dungeons left to go. And then all we gotta do is just head on top of that tower over there in the middle of where Death Mountain would be in the light world to get to Ganon, and then we will be all done with the game and such. So, pretty much even though we took that long break and everything, pretty much we're still almost. Me and Barney are still almost done in terms of completing the game, A Link to the Past and everything. It was actually pretty wild to think about and such.
And it's actually pretty wild because this might be the first time where we actually complete a game while we have another one sitting on hiatus.
Yes, so pretty much up until this point and everything, we still don't know when we're gonna get back doing the Ace Attorney games and everything as of right now and such. So pretty much depending on how everything goes and such, it is definitely looking possible that not only will we beat Link to the Past before being Ace Attorney, but there's also a very, very strong possibility that we might even finish up with the Zelda-thon period before we get done with the Ace Attorney marathon and such.
I've already accepted the fact that we're probably never gonna stream Ace Attorney again for a very long time. So
yeah. So pretty much again another done ESM and everything. It's just basically busy with other life and such as of right now and such. So pretty much it is gonna be a given and such that the Ace Attorney marathon streams are definitely gonna be ones that are gonna take a lot of time and patience as well. Basically from all 3 of us and everything, because it all just comes down to basically whoever has the free time to come on over to stream and then pretty much try to complete a case as best we can and such. Whereas with Link to the Past and everything, pretty much Barney and I have just about free time as we can in the world. Sometimes not all the times and everything, but pretty much when we do and such and everything, we have just enough time to play and stream these games for as long as we want to and everything. Preferably usually 2 hours.
I guess this would be the appropriate time to give everybody an update as to what's going on with Super Retro Brothers, because we have decided to make a little bit of a change.
Yes. So pretty much, if you want to be the one to tell them, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, and you can add if you want. So I'll go ahead and say it.
All right.
So we decided to abandon Paper Mario because we tested that game out a couple times, and the first time it actually crashed on the first boss. Mm-hmm. And we were pretty confused about that. We were like, what's going on? And come to find out is that I did some research, and apparently that's one of the N64 games that pretty much is very difficult to emulate because, believe it or not, it may look like a simple game, but it uses a lot of RAM in terms of the N64 emulation.
That it does. That it definitely does and such. So pretty much at least in terms of that front and everything, and we're gonna have to put Paper Mario on hold and such, at least in terms of our co-op channel, Super Gaming Brothers and such. But luckily, Barney actually does have another game in mind to where, like, to where pretty much it's gonna take over for Paper Mario for the time being and such. So, Barney, if you want to tell, like, which game that, like, we have planned for the upcoming gaming channel, go right ahead.
Of course. So this game is one that I had as a kid. It was my second game of this franchise. I just thought I'd introduce it. Hold on.
Alright.
Anyway, so yeah, it's the second game I had of this franchise. It's a Mario franchise, so that already gives you a hint as to what is a Mario game. So we got. It's the second game of that franchise I ever played, and it's one that I really enjoyed. It's one that I enjoyed, but sometimes I'm like, it's kind of difficult, so I might as well leave for another time. And you better get your vroom ready, because we're going to Mario Kart DS.
Yes, that's the game that we're gonna be playing and such. Hold on a second, folks. Alright, sorry about that, folks. That was my cat and such. She was basically needing something to eat and everything. But basically, yeah, so as Barney just mentioned and everything, yeah, Mario Kart DS is basically going to be like basically our second game for the co-op gaming channel played by Barney. However, this time, instead of doing a recording session, we could actually do live streams now on our gaming channel and such. So basically, that's going to be for that game right there, it's going to be live stream from beginning to end and everything. And Barney actually does have a bit of a plan as to like. As basically how the gameplay footage of Mario Kart DS is going to go and such.
It's gonna be wild because we're going at 100%. So, yeah, I'm excited at the same time, kind of terrified because, you know that Mario Kart sometimes, is victim to rubber banding. So
yeah, it definitely can and such.
And DS is one of those games that does suffer from the rubber banding in terms of the opponents. So I'm kind of excited at the same time, kind of terrified because I know for damn sure that this is probably going to be one game where I'm going to lose my patience again. And you guys love when you guys love to hear when I lose my patience.
Alright, before we continue and everything, let's play this guy some movie, because I think he might tell a story and such. Turning a circle of rock in the lake. I throw it. Okay, no, he's not the guy. Alright, I thought he was the guy. Basically, this bird actually does give you a hint about, like, how to get the Quake medallion. Like, yeah, all you gotta do is just, like, throw something at the, in the dark world, where basically, like, basically, if you throw, like, that sign that we threw in the dark world and such, where, like, this fish came out and everything, and he said he was going to, like, curse us and such, and then basically that was just him going to give you the Quake medallion and such.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did hear that Ocarina of Time was actually going to get a remake.
Yes, you are correct. Pretty much, like, yeah, by the time we are streaming this and everything, yes, coming from Nintendo themselves and everything, they're doing another remake of another N64 game, and this time it is going to be Ocarina of Time and such, for the Nintendo Switch and everything. Which
actually I'm kind of happy about, because I've heard that the original game, apparently, and everybody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I'm not a Zelda geek, so, I've heard that apparently the original game had a lot of lag, and, sometimes it could crash, so...
I'm not too sure on the lagging part and everything, but like, but pretty much like, yeah, I do know that like, at least in terms of like, pretty much at least in terms of like, the Zelda game and everything, pretty much I have also heard that like, nowadays and everything that like, Ocarina of Time is definitely getting up there in terms of like, how people treat the NES Zelda game nowadays, in which like, you got two groups of like, people that either like, say that Ocarina of Time is not only one of the best Zelda games, but one of the best video games of all time. And, but then now you got, like, other people that claim that, like, Ocarina of Time is just, like, pretty much now overrated and everything, and, like, and that, like, pretty much it has, like, a ton of flaws to, like, prevent it from being, like, a very good game in, like, some people's eyes and such.
This is interesting because this reminds me of another game that I'm like, really? I don't see anything bad with it, and that is Donkey Kong 64. I've heard a lot of people talk trash about that game. And I'm like,
same
what?
here actually. Like, I pretty much like I'm not too sure how many people have talked trash about the game and everything, but I do know that like pretty much like Donkey Kong 64 is one of those games where like. I think where the trashiness comes from and everything, like, and again, some people can also correct me on this and everything, because I have not played, like,
I haven't played it. Also, I haven't played it either. I'm just, talking about my observations,
Yeah.
But yeah.
But pretty much, like, from what I can remember and everything, like, I do know that, like, one of the criticisms to the game and everything was basically, like, you had to use, like, 5 of the characters, pretty much you had to complete, like, each of the level with, like, 5 types with, like, different characters and such, or at least, like, pretty much it was at least, like, somewhere around, like, that kind of level and such and everything, but I might be kind of paraphrasing, so again, like, for anyone that has played DK64 and everything, like, pretty much you can let us know either down in the comments and everything, like, what do you personally think of the game yourself? Do you like it? Do you think, like, are the criticisms are valid, or do you think that, like, people hang on the game a bit too much and such?
That thing you mentioned about beating the game with 5 characters reminds me of a certain Sonic game that gets a lot of. I think you know what game I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Sonic Adventure series, and so it's like
Sonic Advance too. Especially.
Pretty much Sonic Advance. I do know that like Sonic Heroes also falls into that like a trap as well too.
I've only gotten very far on Sonic 2 because it's just that it's interesting because my girlfriend is very pro Sonic, I'm very pro Mario, so right there we're opposites in terms of who we like better. She would have been a Sega fanatic back in the day.
And then pretty much back in the day, like, pretty much if Barney was a little kid back in the day and everything, like, he would have come up to his girlfriend and he would have, pretty much, like, that girlfriend would have been like, yeah, well, Sega does what Nintendo don't, huh? I just died.
I forgot about that slogan.
Yeah.
Sega does.
Oh wait, I forgot a fairy. Thank you, fairy. Thank you, fairy. I don't have to waste my time.
Someone open my files!
Busted!
This could only mean one thing. Timmy Turner must have hacked into the game and everything to prevent himself from getting the game over with the help of his fingerprints.
Must check the source.
And set.
Okay, I think this is actually the guy. Let me see here. Pay 20 rupees. Thank the Lord. Alright. To tell the truth, I used to be a thief in the light world. Some of my fellow thieves went into hiding because they were afraid of being caught. One of them is a master locksmith, but now he is hiding the fact that he was once a thief by pretending to be a strange middle-aged guy. Ha 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 ha. Alright, thank you for healing me, strange glove. But yeah, alright, so pretty much keep that story in mind, because actually, we are actually going to be meeting this old man right about now, actually. But before we do that and everything, alright, it's finally time for us to, like... alright, so pretty much it's finally time for us to get some shit together and everything. And pretty much not only that, but pretty much now we can start saying goodbye to our Master Sword. And hey, Joe, welcome back. Pretty much happy to see you again, man.
Oh, hey, Joe, welcome.
And pretty much like alright. So pretty much say goodbye to your Master Sword and everything because from here on out to this point and everything, we are actually going to be getting a brand new sword, actually.
Alright.
Before we get that, alright, so in order for us to get that sword, pretty much if you guys have remembered, way long ago, way back when and everything, pretty much, actually, you know what, I'll go ahead and show it off, seeing as how that, like, we're in the village right now anyway.
While you show it off, I was gonna mention this, real quick. We did test Mario Kart DS beforehand, and it worked. So the game is pretty much ready to go, but yeah, stay tuned till the end of the stream for more info.
Yes. Alright, so pretty much if you remember this guy right here, I'm gonna help. Alright. Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to
You
do
can
the
be this
voice?
guy.
Alright, sure, I'll do the voice. If my lost partner returns, we can temper your sword, but now I can't do anything for you.
Don't worry. I know the importance of like teamwork and friendship and all that and everything.
Is he eating bread? Because that kind of looks like a lump of bread.
It kind of almost does look like a some kind of like a gingerbread of some kind and such, or at least like some kind of like pretty much some kind of like metal band-aid or something.
Well,
And I just realized too, like if you look closely at the hammer and everything, like it almost kind of looks like, yeah, it almost kind of looks like the same kind of hammer that like pretty much like a 16-bit version of like a Donkey Kong would have and such.
yeah, of course.
Actually, no, since he's going slow, here, let me do this. And I'm in the game, okay. Anyway, so yeah, as that guy just said and everything, basically we cannot get the new store just yet because he's looking for his partner and such. And once again, the game actually does tell you where you can find this partner and such. I don't remember like which person it is that you need to speak to and everything in order to find the person. But luckily for me, I do know where his partner is at. He's actually back in the Dark World and everything, so we're gonna have to go back over there to pick him up. And luckily, pretty much if you guys also remembered, in the very last part and everything, we now actually have the Titan Spit and such. And basically, thanks to the Titan Spit and everything, this dark green stone... Oh, hold on. No, Bird, I do not want you. Go away. Final Fantasy 1. I think I was in the middle of it live stream. Oh, hey, nice. All right. Well, Well, congratulations for beating Final Fantasy 1 and everything. I pretty much am kind of curious. Like, what are your thoughts on the game and everything? Because pretty much I do remember.
I'm curious to hear. I'm definitely curious to hear what he has to say.
Me too. Because pretty much, like, yeah, I do remember, like, at least in terms of, like, my playthrough on Final Fantasy 1 and everything, I gave that game a lot of praise and everything, and pretty much, like, you know, like I said, even I was very surprised based on, like, how much I enjoyed the game from, like, beginning to end and such.
I saw AVGN do his review of Final Fantasy 3, aka Final Fantasy 6.
Yes.
And I didn't know this, but I watched it, and apparently he lost his entire save file. And I'm like, what?
Oh wow, dang, that sucks.
And I did some research on that. I did some research, and I was like, there's no way that can happen, and yet it can happen. And the reason that happened is because of the battery. Because if you guys don't know, games like Zelda and Mario World and pretty much any RPG on this NES had a battery backup save, and if that battery gets faulty, you're pretty much fucked.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure the same thing can actually happen to like even your NES like Zelda games as well as like your Pokemon games as well too. I have heard about that actually.
And it fucking sucks, especially in a game like Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So so thankfully, if you guys need any more like reasons why emulation is the way to go, well, there you go.
Enough said. Drop mic.
So anyway, as we see with this frog right here, we're gonna okay. All right. Actually, I'll go ahead and beat this frog. Since I know who this is. Ribbit, your body did not change. You are not just an ordinary guy, are you? No, I am the Dark John Cena. Okay. I think it was pretty good. It was a little rough because it's the first game. Yeah, that's fair. It came out in 1987. Actually, yeah, that is true. Fun fact, that game actually did come out, I believe, like a couple of months after Zelda 2 came out, actually, in Japan and such. I do know that, like, it took a good full, 3 years for the first Final Fantasy game to actually come out in the US and such.
It came out in 1990 in the US, as far as I know, right?
Yes, and pretty much originally Final Fantasy 2, like, the actual Final Fantasy 2, was actually going to get, translated as well, too. Was actually going to get an official translation by Square Enix and such. But pretty much by the time the Super Nintendo came out and everything, pretty much the Square of America took a look at each other and was just like, and pretty much realized that, by the time that, the NES version of Final Fantasy 2 was going to come out, it was not going to do well in terms of, sales and such. So pretty much they decided just to take like what was like a Final Fantasy IV for the Super Nintendo and make that into their Final Fantasy II.
And apparently, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently I heard that Final Fantasy was not a big seller in the U.S. at first. Like,
no,
it wasn't. It wasn't until 7 that the series finally, started to sell well. Because I think it's because this is my theory, but I think it's that people just didn't pay attention to RPGs or they didn't promote them well. But that's just me.
I pretty much always say that, like, at least in terms of like Japanese like RPGs and everything, and it's fair to say that like back then, like pretty much again, unless you were Zelda and everything, like yeah, good luck on like trying to have your RPGs be mainstream in America and such. And pretty much like yeah, Final Fantasy was like that for a bit of a while and such.
It wasn't until 7 that things finally went into the mainstream over there. But yeah.
And yeah, pretty much I also do agree with you, Joe. Like, yeah, one nice thing about, like, the first Final Fantasy game is that, like, pretty much you can customize your own party and such. Like, pretty much, like, you can have your parties being, like, one class, like, for, like, all 4 of your parties, or you can, like, do a little bit of a mix mash and everything. Basically what I did in my gameplay and everything, I had about, like, 3 fighters and 1 black belt and such. And pretty much throughout the whole entire game and everything, I actually carried the game, like, very well, in my opinion. I did not have to worry about, like, magic at all and such. Just had to make sure that, like, I had enough, like, potions and heals and everything, and pretty much I was good to go. Anyway, I used to live in Kakaruka Town. I wonder what my partner was doing there without me. So, yep, if you couldn't put it back together, pretty much this is the other blacksmith that that the partner was looking for. Rupert, I have a request of you. Please take me to my partner. I mean, okay. Actually, he does bring up a good point. Like, yeah, all right. So at least in terms of the Super Nintendo and everything, like, yeah, Earthbound was pretty huge and everything. I do know that like Super Mario RPG was very huge as well too. I actually have heard a lot of good things about Chrono Trigger and such, and such. So that is another game I actually do want to like try out sometime soon and everything.
RPG is interesting because I remember a friend of mine played it when I was in school, and at first I really enjoyed it, but then as it went along, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'll make sure to give it a shot, and I never did because I completely forgot about it after school.
Yeah.
But I've been very interested. Actually, my friend from university, recommended that we play it for Super Retro Brothers.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, he has Joe has a point.
Because I do know for like RPG Summer and everything, like I actually also want to play the Phantasy Star series as well too. Like, at least the old ones from like the Sega Master System and the Sega Genesis and everything. But maybe someday and everything, like, maybe I might finally do, like, the very first Mario RPG with Super Mario RPG and such, like, you never know and everything, like, maybe I might also do, like, maybe I might also do another poll sometime, like, next year, letting you guys choose, like, what kind of RPG games do you want me to play for next year's RPG Summer and such.
There's a bunch I can recommend, but, yeah, you're the boss, so I'll leave you to it.
Alrighty. Anyway,
okay, here we go.
Marty, go right ahead, this is you.
Oh. Happy days are here again. I think you know where that song comes from.
Is that from the Beatles?
No, Happy Days Are Here Again. That was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's campaign song.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right. Well, you know what? All right. Well, you know what? Then pretty much this game proves that, like, yes, calling Link a Theodore was the right choice after all.
And actually, the reason that became I need to do some research on this, but the reason that became his campaign song is because in the convention they were playing the same song all over again, and then he went over and he told, play something else, and then the band played that, and the mood went up immediately.
All right, interesting.
Yeah,
and pretty much, Joe, like, pretty much I have heard of Secret of Mana as well too. That's another one I might actually take a look at sometime soon and such. Ooh, multiplayer, all right.
Okay, that's cool. I actually never heard of that game before.
If I remember correctly, I think that was another one that was made by Square Enix as well too, actually.
Damn, Square has done a bunch of good shit. Yeah.
They did. They certainly have and such.
Anyway, happy days are here again.
You found my partner. We are very happy now. Jump here again. At that time, we will temper your sword perfectly.
Yes, we are happy here together again. Alright, boys, well, I guess I'll leave you to it and such. Okay, are you two done? Alright, are you two done kissing now? Alright, there you are. Alright, so pretty much like, yeah, now that we got the partner back, and now they're both doing the hammer move from Donkey Kong. Hey, hey you, welcome. Ask us to do anything. Yeah, can you tell me my sword? Now it's time to get a better one. And pretty much, alright, we'll give you a big discount for 10 rubies. Not a bad trade, go right ahead. Tempered, eh? Are you sure? Alright, no problem. We'll have to keep your sword for a while. Pretty much this is true, so pretty much if you try to talk to them, sorry, we're not done yet. Come back after a while. So yeah, now luckily it's not going to take too long and everything, but pretty much like, in the meantime, if you want to like, try to keep yourself busy while like these two guys are working on your swords and everything, pretty much like, here are a couple things that like, we can actually get, at least in terms of the overworld right now. So pretty much like, if you want, okay, actually no, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, I want to go back into the Dark World. Final Fantasy Adventure Series, yes, there are a couple of, like, Final Fantasy games on the Game Boy and everything. And, are actually Secret of Man. Oh, interesting. Alright.
One game I'm definitely, pretty excited to give it a shot whenever I get the chance is Castlevania again, the first one.
Oh yeah, same here. Like, honestly, sometime soon, either this year or next year and everything. Like, I definitely also want to like redo my gameplay footage of like Castlevania and such, because I was all ready to go to like have that game being like the Halloween special Let's Play and everything for the gaming channel. But sadly, my other computer decided my other computer decided to go. And pretty much, like, yeah, I lost all footage of that game.
Yeah, at the very least, it's not too bad because now you'll get a fresh reaction once you start playing it again.
Pretty much, that is true. That is definitely true. So, alright, so we got that game. So we got that heart piece out of the way, and not only that, but we also got ourselves another heart container. So pretty much, we got about 16 heart containers in total so far of this game. And hey, look at this, a locked chest. Because the key is locked inside the chest, you can never open it. Just take it with you. Alright, guy. Well, if you want me to take... hey, look at this. Choo-choo. But yeah, so, alright. So basically, because this chest... Alright. So for some reason, whoever decided to put the key into this chest and everything, we can unopen it, and now we have to carry it with us and such. So, if only we could find someone that, you know... is some kind of a locksmith or knows how to pick a lock. But where can we find a person like that, I wonder? And here's another thing too with this chest. You can't enter with something following you, so yeah, you can't take the chest into that house and such. But luckily, I know just a person on who we could talk to.